Hey everybody, my name is Jody Hammond and I'm just going to do a training video on how to book parties. When Ashley posted the question on our team page and said, what are some training videos that you would like me to do? Ironically enough, I posted that I wanted her to do a video about booking parties, and it wasn't necessarily for me, but I have some new recruits and a new team member, and I wanted them to be able to actually see a video on this is how you can go about getting parties. And so Ashley messaged me and we were talking today, and she said, could you do that video since you're really great at booking parties? So ironically enough, here I sat of doing a video that I had asked her to do on booking parties. I have no less than 5 parties a month, and my goal every single month is at least 10. Whether that's a book party, an online party, a basket party, a pouch party, an online live party, a Skype party, a Spreecast party, or a home party. And I know that's a lot, but there's so many different ways that you can do parties, and you have to do what is most comfortable for you. I know that it's really difficult to get out of your comfort zone, and I had a really struggle with that at first. I didn't want to talk to people, and I didn't, at first I felt like, okay, are they going to think that I'm actually selling them a car? That's the mindset that I kind of went in with direct sales, because that's the mindset that the other ones that I had done had, and actually had to go to the point of where I would actually at the end of the week have to send my sponsor or my director my parties. I had to send them my calendar and say, this is what this is. And, I don't have to do that with Ashley. She doesn't expect me to do that. And I don't have to do that with Scentsy. I don't have to send them anything to say, this is how many parties I have. My goals are my goals. It's my business. And if I make my goals, that's awesome. And if I don't, I don't kick myself about it. So how do you book parties? Well, the first thing I really want to encourage everybody to do and get is a planner. And there are so many different planners out there. A lot of people will tell you that you should keep your personal planner and your business planner separate. I am the most unorganized person that you will ever meet in your life, and I can't do that. So that's why it was color-coded. I know Scentsy, Grace Adele. I know my church schedule, things that are going on with church. I know my personal schedule, and then I have my speaking schedule or things that go on with other things. So that's why it's color coordinated. So I know what I need to do that month on that date. So you're still probably asking me, okay, but you're not telling me how to get a party. So I actually moved in July, and I apologize if you can hear my dogs in the background. I actually moved in July to the state of Alabama. Everyone I know, all my friends, all my family, everyone lives in the Midwest. Everyone. I have no family here. I have nothing here, and God said, go. So we picked up and we moved, and a month after we moved, my husband lost his job. But it's okay, because we still know it's of God. So in November, I actually contacted Ashley because I needed to make some money, and I began working with Scentsy again. So right off the bat, my goals were very different. I didn't have a shooting star goal. I didn't have a sensational start goal, because that would have happened in 2010 when I signed up the first time. So I actually had to start working on some goals with me. And one of the goals that I wanted to work on was I needed to be booking parties. Because if I'm having enough parties, then that's how I'm making my PRV for the month. And that's how I am getting my bonuses if my team isn't able to do that. So I put that on myself. And yes, I have a team, and yes, they're great. Shout out to my team. But I am responsible for my own numbers, and I am responsible if I bonus or if I don't. That's on me, and I need to be a good leader and be a good mentor and take care of that. And so those are my goals. And so I know party is how I'm going to recruit. It's how I'm going to get more parties, and it's how I'm going to get that PRV. It's also helped me to get my stock, because I do have people who who have parties for me but don't want the host rewards. So I take them. And if I don't take them, then I ask a mystery host to take them. I'll call one of my most greatest customers and say, hey, I have a host, a party. Would you like to be the host? Because then they're going to be even more excited. And those people always host a party for me after I do that. And I love that. So that's a good way to get parties. Okay, so how do you get parties? Well, all my parties in the beginning months were all online because, like I said, I didn't know anybody here. And the people I did know here, I just was uncomfortable, asking them if they wanted to do a party for me at first because I didn't know them and they didn't know me, and I was very uncomfortable with that situation. And for those of you that know me, you know that even if I seem very outgoing and I seem, I'm very much an extrovert, but if I don't know you, I'm really not going to approach you really, because I have some issues with that, and those are my issues, and I'm working on that. But so I don't like to just message people and say, hey, would you have a party for me? This is blah, blah, blah. I like to actually have contact with that person. So I might call that person, or I might actually email that person and say, hey, can you call me? The trouble with Facebook is, even though you think it's personal and you think it's private, it's not. So I might email, or I might, if I have their number, and usually I'll get their number, and so I'll call them. Then they can hear the excitement in my voice. They can hear how excited I am about my business, and know that really whether I'm telling them the truth or whether I'm just typing up a bunch of yuck. So one of the things that I do is I will tell them that I've started a new business. This is Scentsy. I ask them if they know what it is. And if they don't, then I tell them what it is. And then I tell them that I'm looking for X amount of hosts that month. So I always put my goal in there, because then they know, okay, she has a goal. And a lot of people will be willing to help you with that goal. So I'll say, I have a goal this month to get 10 hosts. Would you be willing to be one of my hosts? This is what it entails. And then I tell them about what it means to be a host. So, and then if it's online, I tell them how we're going to do this. Now, I don't usually tell. Sometimes I started out telling people, I'll do all the work. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to worry about it. But I found out quickly that those parties were not going to get me very much, because they only had so many friends. And if you pay attention really to your invites, how many invites do you get and how many do you actually pay attention to? So, a lot of times their friends, even though they get an invite, don't pay attention to that invite and really don't know what's happening. So if it's online, I have my host post on that event. That's the first thing. I have them post why they want to host a party, why they're doing it. And then I have them post a couple different things of like, this is my wish list. I know you can help me get to it. I make my host helps me, because then they're accountable for it. I also spoil my host. I keep my host so happy. I might say, hey, at the end of the month, everyone that hosts a party for me this month is going to be put into a drawing, and they're going to win a warmer, or, they're going to win a warmer on their wish list, or, something that means something to them. Because I could say, I'm going to put you in for a warmer, and it'd be a warmer that they don't even like, and it won't go with their house. But if you put their name in, and then you have their wish list, because I do have them email me their wish list. And if you have a wish list, then you can see what they actually ordered at their party and what they wanted to order but couldn't get. So, I might do that and say that. And then I always also have a host every month, or my own party every month that nobody wants. And so that's the party I'll use to get that warmer for them. So that is another way to get your 10 parties a month, or whatever your goal is. Maybe your goal is only 3 parties a month, and that's okay too. It's up to you how many parties you do. Basket parties and pouch parties, how do I get them? Well, I ask people if they'll have them for me. I just walk up to people, random people. No, I'm kidding. So one of the ways I had a pouch party that's actually, I'm getting ready to put in at the end of the month on the 30th. A friend of mine down here had a yard sale, and she didn't have a place to have it. And she said, I just don't know where I'm going to have it. And so I told her, I said, well, you can most certainly have it at my house. And we had just moved 800 miles away. So for me, I didn't have anything to put in it because I brought what I could bring, what would fit in the trucks. And so I didn't have anything to really put in the sale. So I thought, what can I do? So I sat and I made samples after samples after samples. I had my brochures and my samples and all kinds of stuff ready. And I had pouch parties and basket parties ready to go. And everybody that came to the yard sale, I gave a free sample. And I made sure I told them, this is a free sample. It doesn't cost you anything. I want you to have it. You're telling them this is something that I'm passionate about and I want you to have it. And I actually got a basket party out of that. And so, and we're closing actually on the 30th. So that was another way for me to get my parties. Then I have friends and family, and I have a lot of friends here now. And so I'll pay attention and see if they start to order or see if they're interested. And I'll say to them, they'll say, I really want to get this, but I have to wait a few months. And I'll say, the best way for you to get that is to have a party for me. If you have a party for me, you could earn that possibly free or definitely for half price. So that's another way that they are going to do parties for me. And they do a lot of parties for me. So I actually had 7 parties this month, or will have by the time that I close. Possibly could have 8 parties this month. Because I do have another Grace Adele one that's open that maybe I can get closed by the end of the month, but I'm not sure how that's going to work out yet. So if it doesn't, it's okay. But I have 7 parties that I will have closed. I put 4 parties in by the 9th. Some of those were book parties and some of those were online parties. I have a lot of people that do book parties for me or basket parties, which is perfectly fine if they want to do that. And then if they want to do a home party, if somebody says, yeah, I would love to do a home party, then same thing, spoil your host. Spoil them. Get their wish list and say, this is something that we really want to work for. And, I always at the end of every month too, I personally handwrite a thank you note to every single one of my hosts for the month, whether they live here or whether they live far away. I personally handwrite them a thank you. That is important for them, that they get something that I didn't just send them on the website or send them, on Facebook that says, hey, thanks, but that I took the time to personally say thank you for what they did. And then I will always use, I put a scent circle, or I'll make up some samples and put that in there. Always give them, because I get the warmer of the month, so I always give them the next scent of the month. And then I always make sure, follow up with them when they get their order. Hey, how's everything? Everything going great? I also ask for referrals. Do you have anybody that might be interested in doing a party? And if it's a pouch party or basket party, I'll actually call the customers after they get their order. I call them and I'll say, how do you like your order? What did you love most about it? And really talk to them about it, and then say, was there anything that you really wanted that you didn't get? And if they say, yeah, there was this one thing that I didn't get and I really just couldn't afford it, so I had to make a choice. Well, if you have if you have a party, you can do this or this. So you really need to be in contact with your customers, and you need to follow up with them, because if you're not following up with them and you're just leaving them, they're more than likely never going to order from you again. And they're more than likely never going to host. And if you have a host that you didn't take the time to talk to or, really spoil and make her feel like she's special, like she's really important, she's never going to host for you again. And so, a lot of my people that hosted for me in November are starting to come around again in June. Actually, I've already got things booked in June, and I already have, right now, as I said, 5 parties booked in May. It's not even there yet. So, and actually I have 2 parties that one basket party that's out now, and a book party that's actually getting ready to start. And now, actually, that I just thought about it, I remember somebody texted me yesterday and said, oh my gosh, I love my stuff. I would love to have a party. Can we have one? So I need to get with her and schedule that, and I will have 6 actually already scheduled for the month of May. So it's important that you do that. Now, when you have your parties and you book your parties, how do you keep your parties? Again, keep your host very, very informed. Take that host and do stuff and get her books. I don't care if it is an online event. Send her a book, because she can look at the catalog online, but if she can't see one and she can't feel it, it's very different. So I will send my host, no matter if it's online or if it's at home or wherever they are, I send them a catalog. Now, if it's a basket party or something like that, then of course they get the catalogs in there. But if it is a home party or if it is an online party, I still send my host 2 catalogs. I give them 2 catalogs and I give them order forms, because there are people that are not online and I want them to be able to go and get those orders. I personally send out the invitations for the home parties. I feel like that's my responsibility. If I have a home party and she says to me, I can't, and I say, okay, I would like you to give me your addresses for all of your people by this date so I can get the postcards sent out. If I have a date set for those postcards and I do it 2 weeks before, if it is a week later and I still don't have those addresses, I reschedule that party, because it is not fair. I don't think. I personally, if I got a postcard in the mail and said, hey, you're invited to a party, but guess what? It's in 2 days. I wouldn't go. I would be like, really? You think that less of my valuable time? Because their time is valuable. My time is valuable, but so is theirs. So really make sure that your host understand that you're going to send out the postcards. And I do that. I feel like that I'm the one that should do that. So I fill those postcards out and I send them out. You type in the addresses, you make labels. It's really not that difficult. You don't have to put a lot of effort in it. And the stamps are a write-off. They're a tax write-off, and so are your postcards. So, it's really important that you take the time to do that, because I want you to think about the stores that you go to, or I want you to think about, the people that you buy stuff from. If they weren't hospitable, if you didn't like that store or you didn't feel comfortable there, would you shop there again? Of course not. And your customers and your host are the same way. If they don't feel comfortable with you, or they feel like, well, I had a party for her, but she didn't even talk to me and I didn't get anything. And, yeah, I got my host rewards, but, I just really didn't, it just wasn't fun. And, if you have a host like that, word of mouth is going to either break you or make you. And in that incident, it is going to break you. This is a business that you need word of mouth. So, anyway, that's how I get my parties, and I know this training video is really long, and I am so sorry for that, but please feel free to ask me if you need help booking parties. I would be more than glad to sit down with you. Well, I can't sit down with you because you're all far away, but I would love to have a phone conversation with you, or Skype with you, or anything to just visit with you about how to book your parties. So go out and book your parties and have a great time with them. And remember that no is okay. It isn't personal. It's business. And it means you're working your business. So have a wonderful time and enjoy those parties. Bye, ladies and gentlemen.